Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Greg Gumbel here with my partner, Clark Kellogg. Coming up on College Hoops tonight, we'll take a look at the upcoming big games of the week in college hoops, as well as show you the best action from around the nation. But let's start off with who we selected for our NCAA Player of the Week.
Tate is this week's pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't show up here again. He has just delivered all season long and is making his case for Player of the Year.
Now let's take a look ahead to the games that get top billing on the schedule in the days to come. The conference tournaments are upon us, and no matchup looms larger. This game is a crucial grudge match between a pair of the best teams in the Big East.
Creighton should come out on top if I had to make a prediction. Their backcourt is so solid this year, and their guards love to get out and run. That gives them a huge advantage in a game that should be as fast-paced as this one will be.
But that's not the only item on the schedule that has NCAA fans buzzing. This conference tournament showdown should have more action than a typical game between these teams in the Big Ten.
Michigan State would be my pick here. They are so strong on the inside that I believe they'll be just too tough to match up with. It would really surprise me if that talent discrepancy on the inside doesn't tell the tale of this game.
There was no shortage of excitement on the court in the past few days, so let's take a look at our games of the week. We were treated to a matchup between two teams in the top 25. Tennessee did away with Texas.
This game wasn't as close as I expected it to be, but there still was high-level basketball played. I expect to see more of both of these teams in the future.
Tennessee played some absolutely stifling defense. They made the guys on the other side work for every basket, and you can see that reflected in the shooting percentage. They never let up on the defensive end.
They were really able to get into the head of their opponents with their strong, sticky, saran wrap defense. Anytime you can throw a team's rhythm off in the half court, you know you're playing tough defense.
And what a game we had as two top 10 teams squared off. Duke defeated Notre Dame.
This was like a heavyweight fight back and forth, and both sides landed their fair share of big punches. You've got to expect that from a pair of top 10 teams like these, and they did not let us down. Matt took care of business in this one. His 20 points led all scorers. Watching him basically put his teammates on his back and single-handedly carry them to the victory in a big game situation like this was stupendous.
That'll do it for us here in the studio. For my partner, Clark Kellogg, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for watching College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy the exciting week of college hoops action to come.
Yes, sir. It's RegDolla in the building, you feel me? It's the goated College Hoops Legacy Series, you dig? We back in this biz. Trying not to curse as much as I used to in my videos, trying to relax, but we back, man. It's conference tournament time. We just finished up the regular season this past week, so let's recap the last games real quick. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm trying to reach a goal of 500 subscribers, and I think we can get to it. If y'all want the GOAT Fictional Draft class to get fully uploaded, let's hit that goal of 500 subscribers. So if you haven't already, a little bit over half of you guys that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, do all that good stuff, because we turning this thing up, you feel me? And to get into it, against Virginia, double-double for Jay Anthony, 13 and 11 and 22 and 10 for Reggie Mack. And then Montez Hendricks also gave you 20 points as well. And then Kentucky versus Auburn, they ended up winning by 8 points. Agent Sparks had 18 points. Then on the other side, Carlton had 22, 5 and 8. And I think I might like Carlton more as a prospect from Mo Davis. A little bit more consistent and just gives you more all-around production. Clay Hooper gave you 21 points as well. And then their last game against Arkansas, all around, I was about to say all around, until I saw Deion Jones 1 of 11 from the field. Golly. Mo Davis shot 4 of 16. I'm telling you, man, Mo Davis is inconsistent. He either giving you 30 or he gonna give you like an inconsistent, like 14 or something like that. Needs to work on that overall, but he is a bucket though. Definitely needs to work on that consistency. Carlton gave you 13. And then Texas ended up being LSU. LSU can't score. Dante Carter to really be trying to carry the offense, and he couldn't do it at this game. The safety was all for him. 5 of 22 from the field, had 20 points, but they couldn't even get 60 points in the game. 21 for Jeremy Gusson. I'm telling you, just book it. You could just book 21, and then they ended up losing that last game against Tennessee, who was ranked higher than them at number 7 in the country. A battle of the 2 freshmen, small forwards. Jeremy Gusson had 21 and 8, and Jalen Miller had 16. So now we heading into conference play, and what we about to do is, let me take a look at the rest of the polls real quick. Georgetown been sitting at number 1 for a minute. Sitting at number 1 for almost a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Whenever Kentucky lost their first game, Georgetown has taken over. And they're on a 17 win streak at home. They won 9 out of their last 10. 6-2 against top 25 teams. Yeah, they're for real. They're for real. They got the most likely who's supposed to be. Just Rich Mack is player of the year. Rich Mack is player of the year. Ain't no questions about that. Other teams, Notre Dame at number 4. So we got 2 ACC teams in the top 4. Houston at number 5. All right. North Carolina. So ACC got 3 top 10 teams. The Big 12 has also 4 top 10 teams. Kansas, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, and Houston. SEC has 2 teams in the top 10. All right. California is ranked. When do you ever see Cal ranked? Cal Berkeley, the Golden Bears. UCLA at 19. Arizona up there. Providence finally in the top 25. So I just want to take a look at that real quick. Let's go to the standings for the top conferences. Start off with the ACC. Duke ended up winning the regular season award, champions. You feel me? Feel me, dog? Followed by Notre Dame at number 2. NC State. We had a 3-way tie for the 4th spot with Louisville, Virginia Tech, and Florida State. So I think ACC might be the best team might be the best overall team. They got, actually, I don't know. They only got 4 teams that's ranked, but Florida State, they was 17 and 10. Louisville was 20 and 10. I don't think they've been ranked all year. Louisville. Georgia Tech was also solid. NC State was good for a little bit, then they fell off. Ended up going 5 and 11. God, dang. Then in the Big 10, Georgetown, obviously number 1. Providence finished number 2 in the conference. Seton Hall at number 3. Villanova ended up going 11 and 7. Creighton, also a top 25 team. So they also got 4 teams in the top 25. The Big 10 was awful. Michigan started off terrible in the first half of the season, but turned it around and ended up being the 2nd best team in the conference. Then UCLA at number 1, but no contenders. No contenders really here. Maybe UCLA could get there on an outside shot, but other than that, nobody really doing anything in this conference. Big 12 got some teams. They got some teams. Houston ended up winning the regular season at 14-2 in the conference. Kansas was 2nd. Also got Iowa State. They got 5 teams that's ranked in the top 25. And now we about to head to the Pac-10 in this. Damn, I wish you could have expanded it to Pac-12, but that's besides the point. Gonzaga ended up finishing 2nd in the Pac-12. Cal was number 1. Gonzaga has been ranked at 20 and 11. What are they looking like? 1 and 5 against top 25 teams. 5 and 8 against top 50 teams. They're probably going to end up making a tournament. That 1 and 5 record against good teams is not cutting it, but for the most part, have been taking care of business against the worst teams. They only lost 3 games outside of the top 50 in the RPI, so that's pretty good for them. Arizona ended up going 10 and 8. And the SEC, Texas ended up winning the SEC. And it's kind of surprising how they had that bad start to the season. They lost 3 games in a week. But I'm telling you, all you gotta do, second half of the season where it really matters. It doesn't matter how every year the top teams like Duke and Kentucky, how they play in the Championship Classic. Those games really don't matter because in the beginning of the season, they're not the same team as they are when they get into the tournament, when they finally find their identity and the chemistry and all that, and you get the experience of all the freshmen. It's a whole different game, a whole different team. Texas is playing their best basketball, even though I think they just lost. Yeah, they just lost to Tennessee, but they're playing their best basketball heading into conference tournament time. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Kentucky ended up going 12-4. First half of the season, it looked like they was about to be one of the greatest teams of all time, averaging like 100 points per game. They were just unstoppable, but they got humbled a little bit. But they still ranked number 2. Also got Tennessee up here. Florida, Alabama started to fall off. LSU was mid. Arkansas, damn, there's a couple. Yeah, these teams are not making a tournament. Arkansas, disappointment. Auburn, maybe. I don't know. Possibility. Other than that, let's take a look at the brackets. Let's take a look at the brackets. So Duke is going to play the winner of the NC State and Clemson game. Louisville, Virginia. So I think we probably going to most likely send the first day, but I want to see. Well, most of the good teams got a bye actually, so we should probably send the first day of conference tournament time. Let's see the matchups looking like. So Duke's gonna play Clemson. Louisville ended up being Virginia, 17 points and 6 assists for Austin Mack. Florida State is gonna end up playing. Oh, I thought my phone was ringing. My bad. Florida State is gonna end up playing UNC. Trayvon Moore had 19 in that game. And Big East. Georgetown already beat St. John's, already moving on. But the tournament is bigger, so they started like a day earlier. 23-14 and 8 blocks for Rich Mack. Nah, this man is a monster. He's going to be the player of the year. Averaging 25 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks on the best team in basketball. Absolute monster. I think he's a lock for number 1 pick. A lock for number 1 pick. A generational prospect. Absolutely special. JJ King had 10 points and 13 rebounds. And I don't know what St. John's did in the tournament. Actually, let's check that real quick. What was St. John's on? It was like middle of the pack, 9-9. So I don't know if they're about to make the tournament. Actually, there's bracketology that I was wanting to look at. Let's look at a bubble watch. So we got TCU on the bubble. Is there any team that we know? Seton Hall is on the bubble. 3-3 against top 25 teams. 6-6 against RPI, top 50 teams. I think they should be in the tournament. I think they should make the tournament. Any other team? Illinois. I don't know. I don't know about Illinois. Michigan. This could be a tough one. They're gonna have to perform well if they're still in the tournament. 2-2 against top 25 teams. 4-2 against top 50. 6-7 against top 50. I think they should be. I think they're gonna end up getting in there. Baylor. 1-8 against top 25 teams. They ended up winning 5 games though against top 50 teams, and basically 10 games against top 100 teams. So they do got a chance. So they're 10-13 against top 100 teams. They might got a shot. Other than that, the projected number 1 seeds, obviously Georgetown. You got Duke, and you got Houston, and then you got Kentucky. Then on the 2 lines, as of right now, Tennessee, Texas, Cal, and Notre Dame. All right, so that's how everything is shaking out right now for the projected brackets. But let's get back into it. Where was he at? I think we was looking in the Big East. Seton Hall ended up losing, so that's tough. Prince Amino was at 8 points on 1 of 6 from the field. Tough loss for them. Deshaun Ross, 15-7. Villanova ended up losing against Marquette, but their spot is definitely secured in the tournament. Creighton also beat Providence, but Providence will be in the tournament as well. And shout out to Devin Brown. Like I said, he was underrated prospect. And Michigan, all right, so they play Ohio State. They're gonna need to win that game to most likely at least secure their spot. Houston and Baylor, if they could pull off that upset, they just beat Texas Tech in their last game. Terrell Miles, who was their best player, playing with an injury, had 23 and 13 in this game. Memphis is trash. Oh, shout out to I forgot my boy Skip Fletcher out here for TCU. Shout out to him. All right, let's go to the Pac-10 real quick. Arizona ended up beating Oregon, 20 points for Danny Tyler. He said all buckets, nothing else. All buckets and nothing else. And of course, my boy Tyrus Rogers is injured, didn't play that game. Gonzaga ended up winning their game, had 19 for Scott King, 20 for Jalen Honeycutt. Then SEC. So what happened in the first round of that tournament? Auburn ended up beating Vanderbilt 11-6-6 for Adrian Sparks. Alabama had a terrible second half of this season. And I don't know if they about to make the tournament. They probably will, but a terrible second half. Arkansas ended up beating Oklahoma 25 for Rico Ryder. And now they play Tennessee in the next game. But they're going to have to win it all for them to make the tournament. Dante Carter got some help this game, had 18, and now they play Kentucky. So let's get into the matchups. All right, so we got Duke versus, I don't know who plays first. We're about to find out right now. Kentucky versus LSU. Let's get it on. Simcast in this, 13-5. You gonna see hella timeouts called in this Simcast. It's just a pet peeve of mine. It just pisses me off. But they up by 11. They running through this, John. Mo Davis, 13 points in the game so far. We're in the second half. About to be in the second half action. Mo Davis got 17. Clay Hooper got 15. Where the hell is Carlton? Carlton got 4. Definitely was in foul trouble, of course. If it gets to 20, I'll just send the rest of this. Or if it gets ugly. And it's looking like it's starting to get ugly. It's an 18-point game. And yeah, it's time to send. We don't got to waste time with all that. Carlton ended up having 19, 24 from Mo Davis, and it's for the game. 7 assists and 6 rebounds to go along with that. 19 and 9. What the hell has Corey Cousins been doing? He probably should not be playing if he still got that damn pulled groin. I feel like he's not been contributing much, other than just being a starting center and on the court. Texas versus Auburn. I think it's about to be a good matchup. Jeremy Goodson, let's see what you got. It's win or go home situations now, so we don't got time for nobody to be battling no foul trouble, none of that. Because if you do, it could get real ugly. And Auburn's starting to make a little run to get back in this game, but Texas responds. And basketball is a game of runs. If you haven't known, basketball is a game of runs. If you don't know. 6-point game. And then Texas goes back on another run and starts to pull away. And it's over. Texas ends up winning. I accidentally skipped the stats. 23 for Jeremy Goodson. I could have told you that. Automatic 20 ball for him. Now Duke versus Clemson. Oh, UCLA versus USC. We got a matchup of the two rivals. Yeah, what's going on here? Somebody in foul trouble. Yep, Khalil Goodrich is in foul trouble. 10-point lead for USC. Damn, all these damn timeouts. I'm just trying to get through this game. But a run for UCLA, taking the lead up by like 6. Now up by double digits. Can they hold on to it? It's looking like they're starting to pull away a little bit. But they call a timeout every 2 seconds. Now they got 1 timeout left. Thank you. They starting to come back. 4-point game under a minute left. A game-winning 3. Yo, this is like... this is a pet peeve in 2K simulation. How you turn it over with 2 seconds left? So they must have hit a full court shot or a half court shot to win the game. And they did him in foul. That's crazy. See? That's why you can't let it be close. You can't let it be close in 2K or they're gonna screw you over every single time. And why the hell do they have their starters on the bench? Yeah, you can't let them in the game. Can't give them hope because 2K is gonna screw you over every single time in a simulation. And now Duke versus Clemson. Early 9-0 start for Duke. Clemson gets back into it a little bit. Damn, all these damn timeouts called. I wish they just had it like at least media timeouts to give them like 4 or how they do in real life, whatever they do, 3 or 4. I think it's 4, and then you have like that use or lose a timeout, and it's a blowout. So we about to send the rest of this. Reggie Mack getting to it. 33 points for Reggie Mack in the first game of the tournament. 20 and 11 for Montez Hendricks, and 14 and 7 for Jay Anthony, and they move on to play Louisville. Second time matching up with Louisville. Let's see what happened in the other games. Alright, so we are in the SEC, so let's take a look at that. Tennessee ended up beating Arkansas. Isaiah Blackman finally playing again. I haven't seen him play in a minute. 13 points, but 10 turnovers for Joe Banks is crazy. 19 for Jalen Miller. Alright, so we already saw the rest of this. Let's go to the ACC. Louisville versus Virginia Tech. Austin Mack only had 9 points, but ended up still winning. Dwayne Hawkins had 16 and 12, but shot 6 of 21 from the field. North Carolina ended up winning by 1 point. I wonder if that was a game winner or not. But Trayvon was 1 and 8 from the field. Oliver Ali had 6 points. On the other side, 20 points and 9 assists for Matt Adams. What is he averaging? 17 and like 6.5. You could barely even see the numbers, how bright the North Carolina colors is. And Notre Dame lost to Wake Forest. So they're out of here. So the Final Four, we might have a matchup with Duke versus North Carolina in the championship of the conference tournament, and I need that. I need Reggie Mack and Duke Blue Devils to end up being North Carolina again. I forgot to check the other teams. I'm wilding. Georgetown ended up taking care of business. Well, Rich Mack ended up taking care of business against Xavier. 31 and 13 and 3 blocks for him. Marquette is going to be matching up against Georgetown in a championship game. Damn. They power forward had 39. He was wilding. He was getting to it. Then in the Big Ten, damn. At least they won the regular season. At least UCLA won the regular season. But matchup of booty versus booties in the Big Ten. In the Big 12, what happened? Baylor ended up beating Baylor ended up beating Houston. 24 and 8 and 4 assists and 4 blocks for Troy Mack. But Terrell Miles had 22 and 8. Had a game for himself as well. Then on the other side, Kansas ended up beating BYU. Trent Bradley had 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks. So he's looking like starting to improve upon his game, having more flashes of the player that we kind of expected, but just hasn't fully put it together all the way, or probably hasn't got the touches that we kind of expected, what I expected. But in the Big 12, it's looking like Kansas might be the favorites. Actually, they might be third. I'm rocking with Kansas in the Big 12. Then out here in the Pac-10, Arizona ended up beating Cal. Danny Tyler had 30 points. Get you one, son. Then Arizona ended up beating Gonzaga. So now we got Arizona versus Arizona State in the championship game. And then we already looked at the SEC, so let's get back to the Simmons. Duke versus Tennessee. Kentucky versus Tennessee. I was just looking at Duke. I'm wowing. I think Tennessee beat Kentucky early on in the season, but now Kentucky's up by 9. 13 points in the game for Deion Jones. And And now we gotta go through the Simcast. 7 timeouts left to be damn called. Let's go. Alright, it's looking like Kentucky about to run away with this. They up 16 with 11 minutes left. It's curtains. It's curtains. Let's send the rest of this. A double-double for Carlton Davis. 33 from Mo. 27 and 11 for Carlton. Holding it down in the backcourt. Where Jalen Miller at? He had 5 points. He got strapped. 2 of 8 from the field. Then now we got Duke versus... nope. Texas versus Florida. Jeremy Goodson, 20 points incoming. I don't know about the victory, though. Of course, he's in foul trouble. I'll say that. He got 13 more points to go in the second half because they're not about to bring her back in. Then also, I found a way to, like, you could put the substitutions in. I don't know how to set it to manual. It says you could do the lineups yourself, but I don't want it when somebody gets like 3 fouls. Well, I don't want to do the rotations like every 5 seconds myself and take people out and all that stuff. So I gotta leave it like this. It's like a lose-lose situation. It's a high-ass scoring game. We got 11 minutes left and it's 76-75. Where is Jeremy Goodson now? Hoping he didn't foul out. All right, they're down by 7. Can Texas make a run? Can they make a run? No, sir. They're out of here. So now it's Kentucky versus Florida in a championship game in the SEC. And Duke versus Louisville. Austin Mack going up against Jay Anthony. Let's see if he can get his revenge back. Can they upset them? 15-5 to start off. 21-9. Duke is getting ran out of here right now. Ooh, it might be quiet for Duke. They're down by 11. It's Jay. Yup, I knew it. I knew it. Once I saw Duke was down, I knew somebody was in foul trouble. Actually, I hit the button to stop recording. My bad. But Duke got ran out of here. Lost by like 18. 18, 8 and 6. Austin Mack had 19 and 13. Dion with 21 points and 7 rebounds. And none of these teams I'm controlling won the tournament. Let's take a look at the other side. What other tournaments? Let's send this. Louisville, yes sir. Anybody but UNC. That's the motto. Anybody but UNC. So Austin Mack led his team to the ACC championship. Louisville wins the ACC. 22-4-6 for Austin. And also got to give a shout out to Dwayne Hawkins, who was their second best player on the roster. Matt Adams had 18 and 7. Then in the Big East, Georgetown hold it down. Yes, they did. Rich Mack had 13 and 5. I got scared. I thought he got injured. He only played 23 minutes. The upset victory and winning the Big 12, but they ended up losing by 2 points against Iowa State. Terrell Miles had an awful game, but the guard stepped up. Only Terrell Miles came to play and didn't foul out. Look at you. Then in the Pac-10, Arizona State ended up beating Arizona. That's nasty.
Yo, it's red. This last part of the video got cut out. I've been having microphone issues, and I'm just mad. Like, the wire that I have is loose, so I'm currently trying to get another one. If you made it this far as this video, you the real MVP, and we'll be fixing this issue very soon. But if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see y'all in Selection Sunday. Yeah, dig.